Hello, hello, and thank you for joining us for another edition of the Sunflower Nation. We are doing a special series on coping with grief entitled The Sun Will Shine Again. And this series was actually inspired by our guest today, Miss Jahila Smith. We are very happy to have her. Maybe not under these circumstances, but Jahila is a phenomenal woman. And I say that in every sense of the word.
So are
She is
you?
a great friend. Thank you. A great friend. She is a Christian woman. She is an entrepreneur. She is a leader. And that's what, our podcast really focuses on. One of the reasons we actually put this series together was we recorded season 2 of our podcast. Jahila was one of our guests. We did an amazing interview.
We did.
Um, and sadly, shortly after the interview, she lost her husband. And um, we figured it would be a wonderful way to honor him. And as you know, my father also passed recently. And, in so many ways, Jahila has been um, a huge support to me in so many different capacities. And so I wanted to give her an opportunity to not just talk about her career, but to talk about this um, really impactful change in her life, and give her an opportunity to honor her husband and share her story. So, Jahil, I want to thank you, first of all, for your willingness to share your story because it is an intimate thing. And if at any point you start to feel uncomfortable or overwhelmed, we can take a break. We can pass on a question. We can stop altogether. But the reality is, um, at some point in all of our lives, we experience grief. And whether that is for a parent or for a sibling or for your partner, we experience it in different ways. And I believe that you sharing your story today will inspire somebody else and give them some hope. Um, that is my hope anyway. So, again, Jahila Smith, welcome again to the Sunflower Nation.
Hi.
Uh,
Hello.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your relationship with your husband?
Okay, great. Hi, everyone. So, that was a great introduction. Thank you, Edith. And she did mention my story, and she said I was a very supportive friend when my for her, but she was very supportive, and she has taught me what it is and how important it is to have a friend and a family around when you're going through grief. Because I have learned through you, Edith, that what is important when you lose someone. So losing my husband was very drastic, and it just happened, but you were there. And I can say that before all of this, you and I did an episode, and it was a great episode. And at that time, we talked about my life and what's going on. And I remember you and I was doing it, and I was home. And at that time, when was this? May?
Mm-hmm.
We did it in May.
Yep.
And I remember, like I can remember that at that particular time, you and I was doing it. I was in my dining room, and my husband and my son came in, and they gave me a thumbs up, like, oh, okay, because they knew I was doing the interview. So just a month or two ago, I had my family, and now it's no longer. But like Edith said, my name is Jahila Smith. Edith and I met years ago. We worked together. We was colleagues. And we were a good colleague. I could always call on Edith for support, guidance at that time. But we became very close when I actually left the Institute and I opened my first business. And it was a restaurant business. And I just felt it was my time to just invest in myself and my life. And my husband really and truly was a chef. He was a chef and he did this for many years. And he really wanted a brick and mortar. And we did it together. And that was our first time. And Ida was one of my best customers. You was doing your doctorate and you told everyone about Smoke and Spice. You said the food was great. You sent your church colleagues or your friends to me. We did catering for them. So you showed me support, friends, family, everything. You just was there for me, and I would never forget that. And my husband would never forget that, because he always said, "What happened to the lady from Iona? I haven't seen her." And I'm like, "School is out." Fixed. So you meant a lot to us, and thank you for supporting us when he was there. So you and I became close. We did Smoke and Spice, the restaurant in New Rochelle. Then my husband wanted to do another business, and we opened up Fitz. His name was Fitzroy Blair. And we opened up Fitz on Ferry from Mount Vernon, which was like a bar lounge restaurant. It was a nice, beautiful place. He loved it. We both run both businesses together, and we both worked hand in hand. He was a great chef. He taught me how to cook. I was the marketing guru. I was a business person. I was the front office. He was the back office, but he was really good. He was a beautiful person, and he was a front person too. He was the front office too, because a lot of people thought I was a little aggressive. So I always charm them, and he had his following, so they followed him also. So we had those two businesses, and we was doing well. We was doing very well. And our last conversation was we was actually doing it to help me support and bring in the support for the two businesses. And we did a shout out, and then June 11th came and I lost my husband suddenly. So I lost him. So I just didn't have a love for cooking anymore or going to the restaurants. Like, I went in there and I'm like, it just didn't feel the same. So I was able to sell with all this, just losing my husband, June 11, 2023. I sold the New Rochelle one. I still have the Mount Vernon one right now, so I'm gonna sell that one. But losing your husband and your best friend, I had to pick up the pieces and rent out the house and sell the properties and just try and move on as best as I can. So,
how would you describe your husband? What was his personality like?
an earth angel.
Mm.
If you hear or you believe about angels and God and stuff, this man will give his last. He was always smiling. He was very kind. And a lot of people like to joke around and they say, when a lot of tributes, we got a lot of tributes for him. And a lot of them was like, how did you deal with Jay? Like, you were so kind. He was very, very like I never met a man that never stressed like this. Like, I stressed about every little thing, and he would be like, Jay, calm down. So it was a time in my life when I was in higher ed, and everything was going well for me. And I prayed and I said, God, when are you going to give me a good man? And God came and God said, the man I have for you is already in your life. He will come to you in time. And I'm like, somebody's already in my life. My soulmate, the man that God has for me, is in my life. Never expected it to be him, but we knew each other and we were friends. And in 2018, we just ended up getting really close. And since I met him, he said, I'm going to marry you. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And he married me. We got married January 24th, 2022. We got married. And he was like my best friend, my soul and everything. And I believed in God. When God told me this, and like it was about 2016, he told me, the man for you is in your life. I didn't know who the man was, But I always told him, God made you specially for me.
Wow.
Like he made you for me. And he always said he believed it. And then when I lost him, I keep on asking God, why? Why did you take this man out of my life? I only had 5 years. And he said, I gave you 5 years. I give you 5 years and I give you definition of true love. And when we had the funeral, his aunt said that Fitz had asthma. And his aunt said he had 3 near-death experience. So that, like, that was God speaking to me also, because he could have been gone before I met him. He could have been gone before I even learned what true love was. But God gave me 5 beautiful years to learn that what true love is and what to look forward to.
So he passed in June.
Yes.
We're in August. So
Mm-hmm.
it's been just 2 months.
Correct.
Just 2 months. So this is really fresh. Um, how old was he?
45.
45 years old.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, if you're comfortable, how did he pass? What that experience was? I know you mentioned asthma, um, but if you're comfortable sharing the story of what
Yeah, of
exactly
course.
happened.
Well, if you had known Fitz or even know him, he was a strong, slim, he was very athletic, he was shaped well, but he had asthma. And he always said that if God didn't give him asthma, he would have been unstoppable. So he said God gave him asthma for a reason so he can slow down, but that didn't slow him down. He was still, I'm telling you, my husband ran 2 businesses, like really and truly ran. He came in the morning, he cooked everyday fresh food at Smoke and Spice, and then we went to the lounge, and then he cooked made to order, stuff like that. He was just going, and we left there around 10, 11 o'clock, and we would do this every day. The only day that we wouldn't open and we decided it's going to be our day to rest was Sunday. So Sunday was the only day that he actually rests, but even on Sunday he was still going, like picking up items and stuff like that. So it wasn't expected. It wasn't like he was sick, or I know he was sick. He didn't mention so if you know June 11th he passed, that was a Sunday morning. On Saturday he called me. He said, "Babes, I'm not feeling too well. I'm gonna come home and then I just get on the machine." And I said, "Babes, if you're not feeling well," because I know him, he's very strong, and if he turn around and tell me he's not feeling well, he's not feeling well. It's really bad. So I said, "Babes, I'm gonna come to the lounge and I'm gonna close up. You should go to the hospital." And he said, "Okay, I'm gonna go." He went to the hospital, and we were both of us was in contact. And then he said he was feeling better. He was gonna come out. I said, "Just stay the night, make sure they run tests, make sure everything is good." He came home about 5:30. They let him out, and by 6 o'clock he passed. He passed out. Like he lay down, and I tried to relieve him. And he got back to the hospital, and they tried to save him, but they said they couldn't save him. So it wasn't that he was sick and he was like just coming home, and it just happened. At Saturday he said he wasn't feeling well. He came home, athletic build. He was like maybe 200 and no, he's like, I think he was actually like 198, or maybe slim guy, my 5'10", nice build, athletic. He used to go to the gym. So you wouldn't expect him to be sick or even pass away. So it was like really like sudden and quick. So since June 11th, I was not able to open back up or continue my life like it was. So I was in bed for like 2 weeks, just not doing anything.
How
So,
did you finally get out of bed?
well, I had to bury him. If I don't think if I had to, like, if I didn't had to leave, I don't think I would have really actually got up that fast. So it was 2 weeks. I decided within the few days that the businesses that we built together, I didn't want to go back to. So I had already decided that after like 2 days that what we have built together is nothing without him. So I decided that I would sell them, I would liquidate them, and I would get out. And then we had a home, we had a house in New Rochelle, and then I said I will have to try and do something with that too. So I just knew I had to make moves. Well, with grief or with losing someone, you just, as women, I'm not saying men don't, but as women, we have to just get up and say, okay, listen, we got to tie our shoes now and we have to get up. So by the second week, I knew I had to get up. He would not want me to be sad. And I got up and I started to make moves. And that's when I started putting the house on the market and then selling one of the restaurants and getting everything together for him because I had to send him home. He wanted to be home. He wanted to be buried next to his mom. What happened is 2023 has been a difficult year for us. In the sense of remember I mentioned that we got married January 24, 2011, 2022. On January 23rd, 2023, I was actually pregnant. And I wasn't feeling well that morning. And I'm like, babes, I'm not feeling well. And I'm really sick. It was a Sunday morning, January 23rd. And I'm like, I'm not feeling well. I need to go to the hospital. And while he was putting on my clothes and getting me ready for the hospital, he got a call that his mom wasn't feeling well either. And we both went to the hospital together, like 3 a.m. in the morning. I came out and she didn't. So he lost his mom. He lost his mom. I had a miscarriage. So he lost his child. And that was hard on him. And it was hard on me also. But we picked up the pieces because we were together. And then in May, he lost his grandmother, his mother's mom. And then he had some family issues or whatever. And then I think all that took a toll and stuff like that on him. But we still had each other. And then we still had family. But God just had a plan. And trust me, Edith, with losing someone, you either losing a child, your spouse, your mother, whatever, you always ask God why. Because even our first taping, I also said, Edith, the favorite word was you have to have faith. You can't have fear and faith. That was our favorite thing. You can't have fear and faith. And I keep on saying, God, why? God, why? And I keep on questioning God, like, God, like, why would you take such a good man? Because he was a great man. And I'm not saying that because he was my husband. He was a provider. He was spiritual. He believed in God. The week before he passed, he was like, babe, so you have the Bible downloaded on your phone? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, because I have it on my phone. I want to make sure you have it. And he was always giving, very giving. One of his friends told me that when he first moved to New York, he started to work and he had his last $20. And this lady was like, oh, she needed some money. And he gave her the last $20. That's the kind of man he is. Like if people came to the restaurant and they needed food or they needed anything, he would give it. He always said his grandmother said it's food, and I always give people that need. So it was difficult, but I don't want the podcast to be really about me. I want it to be about how I get, even though it's 2 months, I'm still struggling with it. I do cry. It's hard for me to get out of bed still. You understand? But what I want to do this podcast is because if you have faith in God, it will get you through. Because for a month or so, I keep on asking God, why? Why, God? Why? And I start questioning God, and I'm like, I started actually even wondering if I have faith in God. And God came to me one night and he said, I said, be still. Something said, peace, be still, be still, be still. And I said, okay. And I lay down in the room and I started praying and I said, God, why? And God said, if you have so much faith in me that I brought you as such a good man, why don't you have faith that I took him out of your life for a reason? I didn't want him to suffer, one, and he's resting well with me. So he gave me 2 signs, and I am very stubborn. Even though God gave me signs, I still wanted more signs. I still wanted more signs, and I keep on asking him, so even though he brought the sign, I brought a good man in you, and I want to show you what true love is. Even though it was 5 years, and I give you guys 5 years, I wanted to experience true love. 2 is, I gave you 5 years. I could have taken him earlier. And remember his aunt said, he had 2 to 3 near-death experience before he met me. So he could have been gone. I could have never met him before. But God gave me you. God gave them to me. And then 3 is, if I have so much faith in God and I believe that he brought me to him, I have to have faith that God took him for a reason. So now I know he's resting well. So when you have a loss, the first thing is you want to make sure that they're resting well with the Lord. So I'm 100% sure that the Lord is taking care of him. Okay, so that part is okay. I know he's rested. So with anybody with loss and they experience loss, it's like you want to make sure either that your father is resting well with the Lord, and you know he was, because he was a man of God. So that is what calmed me a little bit. And then just the fact of him not being around, because this is my husband every day. Everything is done with him. The businesses was done with him. We wake up every day together. We did everything together. I lost my best friend, my husband, my confidence, everything. I lost. Like, I could have talked to him about anything. I could have been myself around him. You know, he made me laugh, and I don't have that anymore. I don't have the texts anymore. I don't get the calls anymore. I don't have nobody to say, Jahila, okay, stop. You're talking too much. I don't have that anymore. You understand? And we could have just be yourself, but I have to like have faith, and I have to build my faith. And that's what I am working on now. So in the last 2 months, I'm working on building my faith, because I want to go to heaven. And I want to be able to see him again. And I want to be able to, I just want to see God. And I hear it's a beautiful place. And we need to, yes, we will miss our significant, or we will miss the person that we lose, but we have to believe that it's a place, and the place is a beautiful place. No more suffering, no more pain, no more bills, no more dealing with just, it's a beautiful place. It said the roads are painted with gold. It's just like, and we have to understand our loved one is no longer in pain, and they're just living a beautiful life. You understand? So that's what really and truly got me 2 months now. And I'm not saying that I don't stop and think about him. I think about him every minute. But what have relieved me is to know that he is in with, even if you don't want to believe in God, but he's resting. His soul is resting very well.
Peace. Yeah.
He's at peace.
What about for you? What was your biggest fear once he passed? Or what is still your biggest fear?
I actually never thought about fear. Fear wasn't like an issue for me. I didn't care about fear. I mean, fear wasn't, I lost my heart. So it wasn't fair. I just wanted him to walk back to the door. And if he walked back to the door as fit, I didn't like, me having to pick up the pieces and try and sell 2 businesses. I mean, it's 2 months and I still have the lounge, and I'm paying the rent, and I'm paying the taxes for the lounge, and I'm still paying the Con Ed bill, and I don't have any income coming in. That has not even crossed my mind with the fear or where am I going to get the money from? That's the least, because I am still grieving. So we had a nice house, a nice home in New Rochelle, and I was able to just put it on the market and rent it for now. So at first I just want to get rid of everything. I just want to leave and get rid of everything right now.
I remember us having that conversation.
Correct.
And what did I tell you?
Slow down.
Yeah.
You said, Jahila, slow down, take your time and stuff like that. And I said, okay, well, Edith, what I know for a fact is the businesses I would never be able to go back to. So I know I don't even have a passion for cooking anymore. Like, I cooked this morning, and it was like a task for me just to go in the kitchen, and that was something I loved to do with him. So I knew that. So I said, Edith, well, let's decide, like, at least the restaurants, let's do that, because I know that. But the house, I said, I'm going to rent it out. And you said, Jahila, I think that's a great idea. So that's that goes back to why, when you're grieving, why you need good friends and family with you. You understand? And I'm telling you, Edith, I don't know if you want me to say this, but we spoke, and we never spoke every day. I think we spoke maybe once every 2 weeks. We would text each other. I would send you a prayer. You would send me a prayer. This was when my husband was alive. We never spoke, but let me tell you, I have a handful of friends. I can call my friends right now. and you are on top of the list. I had a friend, she lives in Jamaica, and when she heard about it, I shut down. I never even told people. I think I told you. I text you and I said, I don't even know how you did. I text you either?
No, I found out through somebody else, another former colleague. And I said, no, that's not true. I spoke to Jahila like 2 weeks ago and we did a recording. And I sent you a text message. I said, I called you first and you didn't pick up. And I sent you a text message. I said, Jahila, I heard something, but I'm not going to believe any of it until I hear it from you. Please call me and I'm praying for you.
Yeah, correct. So it was hard too. Like, so when you go into grief, and you will know that too, because you and I went through the grief at the same time. And I think that's what made us so much stronger and made us so much like we're here today, because you lost your father, your best friend, the first man that taught you how to love.
Yep.
And you and I was there for each other. I think you lost your father, what, 2 weeks later?
Yeah.
When did
July 2nd.
Correct. So when I am going through my grief, Edith, you didn't even, you said, Jahila, God told me to send you this. And I'm a proud woman, very proud. And Edith, it wasn't about your gift that you give me. It's the fact that you thought about me. You said, God told me to give this to you. And you never left. Even though some days I never picked up the phone. Some days you text me and I didn't answer. You still was there. You didn't give up. You did not. You called me. You make sure I was eating. You make sure I was taken care of. People who I thought was my friends. I asked one of my friends a favor. I was like, can you do this for me? And they was like, they gave me such a hard time. And that was the second week my husband passed. And I had give them the money to pick up something. And they gave me such a hard time to pick up something. And I'm like, this is supposed to be my friend. I knew years before, Edith, you was willing to leave a different state to come to me. And I said, Edith, don't do that. I shut down. I had another friend from Jamaica, and she and I was friends. It was like friends, but not like. And she lives in Jamaica, and we went to college together. And when she found out, so I was saying, I didn't tell much people. I was still in disbelief. So when you go into like, I didn't believe that my husband I really truly believe, even days later, that he was still gonna walk through the door. And my friend also heard from someone else, and she called, she never got me. And then the second day, she said, I'm getting on a plane. And on a Tuesday, a week after, I heard my doorbell ringing like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and she was at the door. And I said, why are you here? She said, because I want to be here for you. So she got on a plane. Mind you, I'm not answering this. I never answered her phone call, nothing. She heard about it. She called my sister. My sister, yes, she lost me. I'll call you back. And she got on a plane and she was there for me. And she never left. You understand? I needed her. She was supposed to leave the Friday. I told her I needed her the Saturday. And she said, I'm going to stay. And she stayed until like the Sunday or Monday. But she just picked up and she was there as a friend. So with grieving and stuff like that, and even as women, we sometimes feel like we don't need help, but you guys showed me that I did needed the help. I did needed the support. So if you know anyone that is going through grief, just be there for them. Even though they might push you away, just still be there. Be consistent.
I agree. That is definitely something that I am learning and have been learning, is allowing people to be a support. Because you're right. So often we're like, I got this. I can do this. I don't need anything. Oh, if you need anything, you can call. Nope. Of course, I'm not going to call you.
Exactly. Exactly, Edith.
Right.
We're not calling. Oh, please let me know if you need anything. Yes, that's something you will say to be nice. But once you show up, you don't have no choice.
Right.
To accept it. Do you understand? You just showing up for that person. Because sometimes people are just calling to figure out what happened. You understand? So You stop answering your phone because you don't want to relive the moment. You don't want to. I don't want to relive that my husband came home from the hospital and an hour later he was there turning blue, and then I tried to resuscitate him and he went to the hospital. Nobody wants to relive that. I want to think of him as the Fitz that I know that was always laughing, that always like was kind. So like when the phone start ringing, you don't want to live that. You understand? You want to be able to have somebody that shows up for you. And even if they bring a water, I had a girlfriend that showed up also, and she just brought a case of water. And she brought some food. A case of water meant a lot for me, Edith.
Listen, again, I totally agree with you. Sometimes it's not even about somebody bringing something or sending something. Sometimes it's just having somebody sit next to you. They
Correct.
don't even have to talk. It's just knowing that somebody cared
Edith,
enough to be
Edith,
there.
Edith, I don't know if you remember Rabab. I don't know if you was there when Rabab was
Mm-hmm.
there. We
Mm-hmm.
call her sister. Rabab just showed up, and I'm like, why are you here? Like I didn't like. I can tell you, my friends, Savvy, um, it's a few, but they came and they showed up. I didn't expect them to. I had this young lady named Donnell. She owned Sweet Spice. So my restaurant in New Rochelle was called Smoke and Spice Grill. Hers was Sweet Spice. You guys can check out. It's a Caribbean restaurant also. She's great. And I knew her from when I was in college. And I haven't spoken to her in years. And we talked about like little stuff in the neighborhood and little small business stuff. And Donnell showed up. One day the bell rang and Donnell came and brought food. I never invited Donnell over, but she came and she brought food, those little things. And she and I would never say she was my friend. Do you understand? I would just say she was like my colleague. But little things like that, that's really and truly like make a difference in people's lives. And when I lost him, as you know, I relocated right now. I'm in Florida. I'm no longer in New York. And when I came here, I just wanted something to do. And I don't even watch TV like that. And I started watching like Netflix and all those things. And my son like, oh, you should watch the movie, the series. What's the Sex and the City one? What's the
Mm-hmm.
Sex and you have a new one called I don't even know the new name. That's to show you I don't even watch.
I know what you're talking about on HBO. Yeah. When
Yeah.
the husband passes.
Okay, so I'm not a Sex and the City person. I'm not even a series person. I don't watch series. I don't watch Netflix. I don't watch those things. But I was like, oh, I just got there. So I just got to Florida. I didn't even bury my husband yet. So I came down third week, and I still like, oh, you should watch it. I'm trying to get the name. That's what I'm trying to get. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I watched it, and I'm not into it. I'm not even into it. I'm not, that's not my thing. But the first, second,
Mm-hmm.
third, and fourth episode resonate with me. And you know what resonate with me? She lost her husband and her friends never left her side. Did
Yep.
you notice?
Yeah.
Her friends never left her side.
And just like that.
And
That's
just
what
like
it's
that.
called.
Yes, you're right.
And just like
But
that.
her friends never left her side. And I said to myself, we need more of these relationships. We need more of these relationships. Whereas and it's not an African American thing, a Caucasian thing, or whatever, but we need more of these relationships. We need them in business, we need them in our jobs, we need them in our family. Because as women, we always feel like I got this, and I felt that I got it. And I felt
Strong
that I got
Black
it.
women. Strong Black women.
Correct. And I watched it twice. The first episode, the second episode, and I watched it, and a lot of them give up their schedule. I know it's a show, but it's people out there that will care for you and will take care of you. And friends and family around this time is very important. So if you know anyone that is going through this, just being there, just showing up means a lot.
And I'll add to that, allowing them to show up.
Allowing them to show up. Correct.
Um, because, you know, you mentioned I sent you something and you were insistent on sending it back. And I'm like, no, like sometimes as a friend, you don't know what to do, right? You want to be there for somebody. You're not exactly sure how to do that. And something, whatever it is that you want to do, if somebody does it, allow them to do it. Because
Correct.
sometimes it's not even about you, it's about them being obedient to the Lord. God put it in your spirit. Allow that person to help you. You know, one of the things, honestly, one of my regrets that I have with your situation is that you moved to Florida. I didn't get to see you before you left.
I'll be
And
back. Yeah.
but I wanted to help you clean the restaurant. I wanted to help you clean your house. Like,
I did
it,
not
like
clean
it,
any restaurant. It was sold as is. I'm not
I
cleaning.
really did. I was like, oh my goodness, like nobody should have to do this on their own. And I'm
Let me tell
happy to
you.
hear that, you know, obviously you have your sister and
Correct.
you have your friends. So you're blessed in that way.
Correct. Oh, and
But
then on
but
top of
I
that
did,
too,
I
I
needed to
sent out
be
a
there for
text. I
you.
sent out a text talking about it. I sent out a text. So now I have this home, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath, and it's a good size house. And I sent out a text. So I'm in Florida and I'm asking for help because now I have this house. It's filled with all of my husband's stuff, all of my stuff, all of my stepson stuff. And remember we built a home. I had this house for maybe like 7 years or so. And I sent out a text because I remember I don't ask for help. We try to do everything on our own. I said, send out a text and I sent out to a few of my friends. And not one, no, I lied. Two showed up, Rabab and Sabi.
Hmm.
And everybody had their plans and everybody had stuff. Because guess what? With a loss and with grief, when you lose someone, your life stops, but nobody else. And you can't expect everybody else's life to stop, but you can see if they can make some arrangements.
You.
So my friends was like, oh, well, I had this, I had that. The two people showed up. And I was fine with that not showing up, right? But even if you never showed up because you had plans, show up a next time or show up on another something. So even if you had plans and you was out of town or if you had other plans, show up another day. Never. And guess what, Edith? I'm gonna tell you something. I was that friend. I cannot blame my friends that never showed up because I was that friend. If one of my friends lose someone, I would be like, oh my God, my condolences. Let me know if you need anything. I'm more of a like giver where money is. But it's when I say, oh, can you help me pack up? I'll be like, I'm tired. I'm not. So I never try to like be inconvenienced for someone. But I realize that when you're in a stage like this, you have to show up to somebody who you need a friend. And that taught me this. So I can't be upset at my friends because I was still that friend. I might not have showed up. I don't know 100% sure, but I might not have showed up. I might have said, oh, well, if you know a cleaning person, can I pay them and then have them do it? Because I am a person that gives so much to my job or give to something else that I would be like, I'm a little busy, especially running two businesses. I would have been like, I won't be able to do it now, but I will send somebody, I pay somebody. But showing up for that friend and being present means a lot to them.
Right. Right. But you're absolutely right in saying that you can't be mad at them because a lot of things you don't know until you actually experience it.
Correct.
You do not know until you experience it. And so, in grief, you need a lot of grace. You need a lot of grace yourself, but you also have to extend a lot
Exactly.
of grace.
Yep. It's not easy losing anyone, losing a son, a child,
Mm-hmm.
a parent. So I'm here like to just tell them, have faith. I'm building my faith.
You know,
It's not
as you
easy.
think about, you know, the loss that you've experienced, it's a tremendous loss and it's so recent. Um, how do you think that has or will affect your future relationships? Be it romantic relationships or relationships with friends? You know, are you looking at life differently?
Of course, you will never be the same. You will never, especially like if you lost a child or a spouse. You will never be, I mean, parents also. Was reading up, I'm reading up a lot of stuff on grief, and I was asking the stages of grief, like which one is the hardest. And I don't believe in those things. I really don't believe in, well, your grief is going to be harder than my grief. I believe we all grieve differently, because I lost my father. I didn't grieve as much, like, because I wasn't really, not that I wasn't close to him, but it was a different grief. So it's different. But when I was reading up on stuff, and they said, oh, if you lose a child, that's the strongest one. That's the hardest one you can go through. And then losing a spouse is the second. And then losing a parent is the third. And I'm like, I don't believe in that, because we all have different relationships, and we have all different stages in our life where we're at. So grief is grief. I know what true love is. I know what true love is and how to experience true love. Right now, I will tell you, and I will tell God, I don't need anything else. I don't need. God has given me a blessed man, a great man. I don't need anything else. I don't need anybody else. I'm not looking for anybody else. I'm just trying to build my relationship with God and trying to get back out in the workforce. But other than that, I just want to be, what I am working on now is two things. It's actually three: getting better, because I am still suffering. I'm still grieving. It's getting better. Two is taking care of myself. Edith, like I told you, I couldn't even, I just packed up my stuff. I shipped some stuff down. I can't find no makeup, nothing. I put on some real lipstick for you though. And
And it looks beautiful.
I couldn't find no makeup and stuff. So I just put something on my face. But I have to start taking care of myself. So now I have to start putting myself first. So it's been 2 months and a week, and I have to start taking care of myself. So that's the second one. And then the third is just forming my relationship with God and getting out there and just getting back in my life. That's all I'm really working. I am not looking for anyone. I don't care to look for anyone, because God has already given me my husband. You've already been there. I'm not looking for one. I see relationships differently as friends and family. Yes. I see that differently. I'm working on being a better friend, because what I'm going through, I realize that I'm supposed to be a better friend. I need to work on that. So I need to be a better friend, a better sister, a better whatever, like colleague, a better person, because I really truly, going through what I went through, I realized that I needed some work too. So I can't blame my friends and stuff like that. I need work also.
You mentioned your husband being an angel on earth,
Mhm.
and you being stubborn, you know. Um, is that something that you feel like you want to work on? Are there any personality traits that you feel like, what, your husband was this magnificent person because of these traits? And, is that a way that you would consider honoring him? Okay.
Because that's not what he loved me for me. So
Mm,
even though I had my every relationship is not perfect. So even though I had my flaws, he loved me for me. He would be like, babes, okay, you talk a little bit too much right now. Or baby, you're a little aggressive, baby, let it go. He still loved me for me. And it doesn't mean it was right or wrong. But no, I will have patience, whereas I'm a kind of person that wants stuff done, and I get up and I have an agenda, and I will always be like, this is it, and let's get it going. I'm not like that anymore. So I learned the patience from that, where I felt life is short. I'm not going to stress myself about simple things I can't change. You understand? I'm putting a lot of faith in God. I'm doing the work and I'm putting faith in God. So that's where my patience is coming in. But me personally, I'm not planning. I never think about changing. I
that's
am,
excellent. I love that
yeah,
response,
I am who
honestly.
I am. I've been this way for 43 years. I'm not planning on change. I'm not planning on thing. What I do is, when it comes to certain situations like family and stuff, I say, what would Fitzroy want me to do? I think that way. Like families and friends. And I'm like, if Fitzroy was here, because remember we had a business together. His family is now my family. My family is his family. So I'll be like, what if Fitzroy was here? What would he want me to do? And that's how I think about him. But my personality, I do have a strong personality. That's who I am. I just wanna work on having bad thoughts, because we all are humans, and I do have bad thoughts, because I keep on, in the beginning when I lost him, I used to walk around, and that's how I stopped going outside, because I used to be like, but why did they take my husband? Why couldn't they take this man? Yeah, I would just be on the road and I would see someone else, and I'm like, why you took my husband and this man here? Why didn't you take this man? And I don't even know the man. I'm just in the mall, and I'm like, why could you take this person? So I started to question God and stuff like that. And I said, so that's what I'm working on. I'm working on having a clean heart. And if I do everything with a clean heart, that's all that matters. And I slip up. Like yesterday, I made a comment about something, and I went to bed and I prayed and I said, God, please, like, just be mindful. Make me be mindful of what I'm saying. Make me be mindful. And I pray and I say, please forgive me. So now I'm more mindful. But listen, I'm still the strong Jahila that you met years ago, and I will tell you how it is. And I'm not going to tell you in an evil way or a bad way to hurt you. I know I criticize what I say and stuff like that, but I'm not changing who I am.
Good for you, because you're pretty amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Good for you.
Thank you, hon. We did an event for Fitz at the lounge, and Edith, so many people showed up. They blocked the street off. So many people showed up for Fitz. And it hurt me because I didn't even want to do it. It hurt me because I saw my husband had a dream, and he believed in this lounge. And a lot of friends that he was like, Jahila, my friends are going to show up and they're going to support me. Then a lot of them never supported him. And they waited for him to pass. And when he passed, people I never knew. I used to go to the bar at least three times a week. And so I know who was there and who wasn't there. And he even said it. He said, all of my friends I thought would support me never supported me. And if they showed him the love when he was here, it would have meant so much to him. Like, don't wait till the past to give them their roses. Give it to them. No, let them know that they appreciate it. I appreciate. And that's why I told you, Edith, I appreciate you. I appreciate you showing up for me. Thank you. You can never erase that. You understand? Just show up. You don't have to show up every day, but just let people in your life know how important they are in your life. So we just have to be able to be there for people, and it shouldn't be about us, and it should be about what we can do. Because even Fitzroy, like that, his last quote was, like, similar to like, what makes you happy is make sure that other people are happy and safe. That was one of his quotes. He always want to make sure people around him was good. And we always forget that. I don't know why we forget that life is short. And I remember, like, 9/11, it was like a dark cloud for a very long time.
Right.
And now everybody's like, oh, 9/11. It comes on the news in the morning and it's like 9/11. And people forget that we lost thousands of people, your sisters, your brothers, and we just move on with our life. But sometimes you got to slow down and just tell people in our lives how important they are in our lives.
Right.
In life, we all have to go through this. We all will go through this.
Absolutely.
We all.
Absolutely.
But the ones that is suffering is the ones that is left behind. You know, we have to pick up the pieces and be able to be like, I got this. So,
one day at a time.
Support means so much. When you just know you have good people to be there for you, it means a lot. So if anyone like out there and you listen to this, just please just support your friend, support your neighbor, support your family, because it means a lot to them.
Absolutely.
And you can lose. What was it?
And check in, there's this saying, check in on your strong friend. We check on the people who we know, usually have a hard time managing things.
Correct.
But your strong friend, that person needs help too. So check in on your strong friend also.
And what people will say is checking on your stubborn friends, like me and we're stubborn. And most of us are, but it's like, trust me, because you might, even if they say no, I'm okay. Just show up. Just show up for them. You don't have to, even if you can't 100% do something. You understand? Do something.
Absolutely.
Because there's always something that can be done.
It's okay not to be okay.
Correct. And it's okay to not try and get out the bed right away.
Right.
It's
Right. It's
okay to
okay.
take your time.
Right.
It's okay to stay in the bed and just sit for a little while. It's okay to take time for yourself.
Right.
Don't let nobody rush you. I will say, do not let nobody rush you. Grief, it takes years, takes months, it takes weeks, it takes whatever you feel that you need. And guess what? A little Xanax doesn't not help, because trust me, Xanax had to help me. I needed it. And I'm not a drug person. I was never like a Tylenol. Even if I get pains, I was never a Motrin kind of person. And even, but I had to say, even if I have a lot of faith, I just had to have them to help me cope. So take your time. Take time. You will need the time. Everybody needs time. I still need time. I will never, ever be the same. I don't think anybody that goes through a big loss will ever be the same. But take time. Don't let nobody rush your recovery period. Don't rush it. Because either you and I are still going through it. We're here,
Oh,
we're
we
talking,
just
we're talking about
started.
which
We just
exactly.
started.
We're talking about our experience. I am gonna applaud myself for not breaking down, because let me tell you, my husband was like my best friend. And then like I had told him this year, I don't remember when it was, maybe a month or two ago, and I said before he passed, and I said, baby, you know what I love more about you is I can be myself. And myself is not easy to deal with. Dealing with me, just either you dealt with me at work. Just imagine dealing with me 24/7. I want to watch my old Matlock and Murder She Wrote, and I was like, come on, we gotta go. Everything is like, come on. And he was able to deal with me. Either you see me at the restaurant, I had my hair covered, I had on sweats. I never wanted to be pretty. I'm telling you, like, even for me to even put on lipstick, so there was a lot for me to put on lipstick, because I'm not really a girly girl. But when I'm ready to put myself together, I can do that. But I haven't put myself together in a while, and he accepted that. He didn't expect me to dress up every day, and if I didn't feel like, babes, I'm not washing today, I'm not cooking today. And to tell you the truth, I never even cooked. He was one that did the most of the cooking. But even if I say, baby, I'm not doing it today, he was like, that's okay, baby, don't worry about it. So just imagine losing your best friend, your husband, your confidence, your everything. But what I'm telling you though, as the days goes by, because I didn't eat for 5 days. When I lost him, I didn't eat for 5 days. I don't know how I survived. But then you will start eating. You will start eating. And little by little, it will never be the same, but it will get a little bit better. A little bit. You have to have faith. Like you said, God was your savior. Like he helped you, and he's still helping you. And tell me if I'm wrong, Edith, you still question God.
Absolutely.
You still question
I think
God. You
that's
still
a natural human reaction, is to
correct. And you question
wonder,
your
why
faith.
did this happen?
Correct. I had to question my faith. I had to question God. I question everything. Every single thing I questioned. It was a point where I was like, it's not that I didn't believe in him, but my faith was so low. But I had to, that's like you said, I had to always turn back to God. I had to be still. And it's hard. It's hard. Every day is hard. Trust me, when I wake up and I see I have a picture of him, and sometimes I cry because 45 years old. It's just suddenly, my whole life changed in less than 10 minutes. Because it takes 10 minutes to when you stop getting oxygen into your body. My life changed in 10 minutes. We had 2 successful businesses. We had a loving home. We had I'm not from here, either. I'm from the Virgin Islands, and he's from Jamaica, and he hasn't even been here for 20 years, but he had 2 successful businesses that we built together. And I'm like, God, when he was at his peak and when we had so much to give, you took him. But God have a plan.
And you may not understand it right now.
I still don't understand it. I don't think I will understand it and for a
You may
while.
not. You
Correct.
exactly.
What
But
I do
you
know is
have
I
to
have
have the little
faith.
bit of faith. That's right.
I have faith, and I have faith that my husband or whoever you have a loss, that they're resting. God has shown me signs that he is resting. And that's all I need. I need to make sure that he's resting and his soul is at peace, and that I know work on my relationship, because Fitz had a relationship with God. I always had a relationship, but it's not strong. And I have to work on make sure that my relationship is strong. And he sends me, I don't know if you remember Jacob Wilson.
Mm-hmm. I do.
I was talking to Jacob Wilson, and so like that's going back to building relationships, because even though we used to work together, I was very hard. I was a hard person, and but my colleagues knew that I had a good heart, and all these relationships I kept all these relationships. And I was talking to Jacob, and he lost his father. So he lost his father June 5th, which was he was a pastor in a church. He had his own church. And then I lost Fitz June 11th, and you lost yours July 4th or 2nd? 2nd, July 2nd. And Jacob was talking to me and stuff like that, because I have questions about the Bible and stuff like that. And he was just telling me stuff. And he said his father passed. And when I asked him, his father came to him, and he said, yes. His father came to him in a dream, and I said, why haven't Fitz come? And he said, just you're not ready. God knows when you're ready. You're not ready. Yeah. But he said he knows his father is resting very well. And his father said to him, tell everyone to build their trust and faith in God. Build your relationship in God. I'm reading every single thing. I'm reading my Bible so I can learn everything. I'm learning everything so I can say that I never knew. I can't be naive. Right. You understand? So now every day I wake up, I put 2 hours to God. Every day. I said 2 hours. I turn off my phone. I said 2 hours in God. Either trust me, I'm going through a lot. I'm still paying rent for a business. I'm still doing all that, but in time, God is going to make sure somebody shows up to get that place. You understand? I can't stress about, I have a big rent to pay, and I'm not stressing about that. I believe that God is going to come true for me. Just like I can believe that God brought a good husband into my life, I have to believe that he took him for a reason, and I have to build on my relationship so that if I want to meet him, whenever it's my time, it's my time, and I will be ready and I'll be prepared to meet the Lord. So that's all we can do. We can live right by God, live right by your friends, live by the people that you say you love, and do the best you can. Absolutely. Build your faith, because that's what's going to help you get through grief.
Thank you for being so transparent. I know this is not easy.
It's not easy for none of us, for both of us.
Fresh.
But Sunflower Nation is about helping and building people. You understand? So we can build our businesses, which we did. We build our businesses, you're building but in life stops sometimes, and it slows us down. Thank you so much for providing this platform.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it, because people like us, it's hard for people to listen and just, take us serious sometimes. And this has helped. This is therapy.
Absolutely.
It is therapy.
And I think more than the therapy for ourselves, the reason, and a lot of people actually discouraged me from doing this. They said it's too fresh. It's too fresh, and it is. If I look at it through my counseling,
it's I'm saying you can always have episode 2, 3, 4, whatever, but it's the raw.
But life. When I look at it through a counseling perspective, it would not be advisable, right?
Why?
But
why would you say that though?
Because it's too raw, right? I'm supposed to be interviewing you and supporting you, right? But I am experiencing the pain that you're experiencing.
But that's life.
It is life.
Okay. Edith, the reason why I am here today it's not, I would have never gone on anybody else's channel. I did this to help others. I
Right.
did this because what you and I going through is something that we all will go through, and we will need help. And guess what? This is a stepping stone for us to get other women in there to talk about their life. Yes, Sunflower Nation is about building and stuff like that. But we needed this, Edith. People need this also, because every time you open CNBC, whatever you open, the social media, someone is losing a loved one.
Right.
These are the times that God talked about. So if we can help them and say, listen, build your relationship with God, or you have friends that will be able to be there for you, just show up for your friends. It doesn't matter if it happened a month or 2 months from now, but it's a reason it happened today, because
Exactly.
somebody might watch this tomorrow and say, wow, I needed that. I need to show up for my friends. And wow, I need to open my Bible and dust it off. You understand? Because
And that's the exact reason why, despite um, other people advising me against it, I said, no, I don't care. Like, I know this is going to open up emotions for me. I will probably have a very difficult night, but I also am confident in knowing that, first of all, one, Sunflower Nation is not something that I came up with on my own. This was something that God poured into me. This is
correct. Amen.
God's vision that I'm working through. And so, because I truly believe that, I know that in doing this series on grief and loss, the title of the series is The Sun Will Shine Again,
Correct.
right? While we might be under a heavy cloud right now, the sun will shine again.
And trust
And
me, the first week or 2 weeks, you don't even, I never thought that I would have been here sitting down with lipstick on, Edith. I
yeah,
never left. I never wanted to leave. Edith, I am telling you, sometimes I had depressing thoughts like, oh God, like God, why didn't you take me? Why, like, you understand? But I have to tell people that the sun will shine again. I get up now and I take a deeper breath.
right.
You understand? And I know that God has something for me. And I am alive today because it wasn't my time. And you're alive today is not your time.
Well,
But
I
God
believe that
has,
somebody listening to this or watching this who might be having really negative thoughts, like, I don't want to live anymore because I lost such and such.
Edith,
You know
when you
what?
ask
Maybe
me,
they're
what
going
would
to
I?
see us.
Uh-huh.
They are going to see us, and they are going to know that
Trust me.
I'm not the only one going through this. There are other people experiencing this. They are pushing forward. They are asking for help. They are getting support from others. They are going to counseling. They are praying. They are sitting with friends. They're
Their
watching
help,
webinars. They're
their
reading
help
books.
out there. Their help out there.
Exactly. And so that's why I did it. I did it for the person who's going to watch this in a time where they are feeling hopeless.
Thank you,
And
Edith.
I
Thank
know
you.
that we are going to not just change lives, but save lives and save souls.
And maybe I'm here for this reason. You understand? Maybe I am here still for this reason, to tell people, work on your relationship with God, work on your relationship with your friends, work on your relationship with family. You understand? And just know that yes, the sun will shine again. I know you might feel like it doesn't. You might feel like giving up, but you have to. And guess what? You can always write us on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever, right? Write the either chat, write Sunflower Nation, and we're gonna respond back to you if you're going through a hard time. Listen, I have time. I'm dedicating my time if you need this. If you watch this and you say, well, I need time, I need someone to talk to, I will speak with you. I am willing to give my time. We can build our relationship with God together.
Amen to
But
that.
Edith, I am thanking you, thanking you, thanking you for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your willingness to do this. Thank you for sharing. I really do appreciate you.
Yeah,
To
I
our
appreciate you.
listeners, I want to thank you for watching and listening. I hope you found this episode encouraging and inspiring. And if you are struggling, or grieving, please know that there are support services available to you. Reach out to a friend, reach out to a family member, reach out to the Sunflower Nation.
Amen. We're here.
We're a nation of people who
Mhm.
care about each other and want to see each other win. And so may your hearts be filled with the brightest of sunflowers, even on the cloudiest of days. Wishing you love and positive vibes. Until next time.